Fiona. And Fiona is a really interesting doll in that I have so many of this sculpt. This particular sculpt is very popular. She's like this really cute little smile on her face. And so my challenge is to always try to make her different. And this is the first one I've actually done. I just have a lot in my stash. So it kind of gave her a little bit of a, not so much of a smile, kind of a smirk. And then I kind of gave her the little arc, her eyebrows up a little bit higher on one side to kind of give her a little bit of attitude. One thing, she's a little bit taller than typical dolls that I have. I think she may be a whole 17 inches versus, say, 16 inches. I had to measure her. But her dress was difficult finding. Of my dresses that I had that was long enough, a lot of the dresses I had were just coming out too short, and she needed something a little bit longer. So I found this really sweet dress in my stash. Now, it took the dye really well. It's just such a pretty gray color, but it does, has the dirty stains here and there where it just kind of, the dye pooled on it. But what I loved about this outfit was it had a bonnet. And even though she's got the coolest hair, I did want to use this little outfit with a bonnet on it because it is so cute. I only have a couple of things of bonnets. Typically, I don't use hats, but I do love the bonnets. It's just kind of rare. So I have these boots. Now, these boots I recently bought from a lady on eBay. And right now, they smell a little on the musty side. Well, it'd be great if I wasn't in my own shadow. So I'm hoping they air out, but I did paint them to scuff up. They're the black patent leather, and so I scuffed them up to make with paint, gray paint to just make them not so shiny. And they had little pearl buttons on them, so I came back in and I added pearls to her little, I'm sorry, not collars, what is this? Her wrist, her little cuffs, can't think of the words. And when I put her spider in, I also put in a little pearl on that as well. So in doing her hair, I will tell you this is some really fine, soft pelt. And being that it's softer, it tends to be a little bit thinner on the skin side. And so you can kind of see her pelt, a little bareness up in there, a little baldness. So I wanted to do a real quick shot of her scalp so you can see her pelt right there, how thin that is in that little area. I mean, you can style it around it, but like typically that's where I would put a bow, because that's usually where, when you start putting the seams together, that's always just to be a little thin area on my doll. So it does help that she's wearing a hat. Otherwise, I would have put a bow on her and it would have covered that up, because that does happen. You're going to have areas where you see the seams, and I usually disguise that with bows and things like that. But on her, the hat really helps her. If you did decide you don't want to use that, you might want to style her hair accordingly, and so that you can hide the little seams. But on her, as I work on my dolls, of course, I just love them more and more. She's got some pretty brown eyes. I'm going to reposition her here. She gets a little bit more lighting. She does have a sweetest face. These dolls have tiny noses, so I overdraw the nose a little bit just to make it look a little bit bigger, more natural looking versus just a little small, tiny nose. In fact, if I get just right, you can see where the sculpt ends, and I've kind of added some extra because you have to get up in there to really look. I do like to make my lips a little bit fuller, and that's just because it went over the sculpt right there. So what I do with it, because I have so many personalities here, so many different dolls, I do try always to make my sculpts different. There are some most popular sculpts, about 3 different dolls that you'll just see over and over, and this is one of those dolls that I see a lot of. So it's a challenge to always go and give them a whole new look. Now, being that she has brown eyes, I have some of these with green eyes, I have some with blue eyes, but and a few with brown eyes. But like I said, this is the first one I have worked on, and the rest are kind of in the stash. I'm kind of going through and looking for my kind of more unique dolls. Right now, my goal is to finish all the ones I started in 2016 that I'd already primed and painted with their base coats. I'm kind of going through those. And I just happen to have one of a different sculpt. And most of those that I have left are of a very few, limited amount of design. The sculpts are not as common as some of the other ones. Or I'm switching them from a boy to a girl. I mean, try that again. A girl to a boy. So that's going to make a difference. So as you see, my videos are getting shorter and shorter because once I've kind of told you how they're all made, it's all about just looking at the ones I've got for sale now. She does have a heart on her bloomers. If you don't know about the little made with love things, it's on her bloomers in the back. Now, one thing I did have to do for this doll, now that I've kind of picked her up, I've kind of squished it up. Hang on a sec. I did make her a little put some tulle under her skirt to kind of fill it out because it was just, I don't know, I think she just needed more shape to her, so I did kind of fill her out with some little bit of tulle. Anyway, I love her face. Of course I love all my faces. I will work on them till I get them to a place where I just really think they're expressing what I want them, the expressions I want them to have. So, and her windswept hair is kind of all tumbling out of her bonnet. Like I said, you can restyle this. And I do encourage you, she is coming without any accessories, because when I do add accessories, I do need to add a price to them. So I'm starting her at my base price of $99.99 and encourage you to add stuff to her. Oh, and I'm slipping on stuff behind me. But anyway, she's a cutie pie, and she looks so good with the other ones. I'll have to show what she looks like with the rest of the game. So today is June 10th. And these are the dolls that I have currently for sale because all my other dolls have sold. I am still working on a boy, and he will be added to this later. So this is Theodora, and she's got her little teddy bear picnic. And I can't believe she hasn't sold. How? I mean, I'm fine with that because I love her. She's so cute in her little teddy bear. And that little precious tea set. So she can live with me as long as she wants. Gypsy Rose, one of my favorites. She's got this crazy little buck teeth and those two color, the green eye and the blue eye. It's so cool. My clowns aren't really moving this year yet, but they will start picking up. They always do. Because I wouldn't be making it if I didn't think they'd sell. Now, why Almeria hasn't sold yet, I don't know, because she is truly one of a kind. I mean, you can look at my other dolls. She definitely has her own little personality going on. But so she fits really in well with the other dolls, and they're in their muted colors, their grays and everything. And one thing I like about her I didn't mention, she does have wire in her arms, so you can bend her arms, and that's always nice. And like I said, that's something I'm going to start adding into all my dolls and making sure they all have wires from now on. I'll take them apart. I'm going to put wires in them.